We often hear and talk of adoption of animals, but it is not seemingly as common for child adoption to be addressed. That is why I choose to advocate about adoption rights. What is adoption? Adoption is establishing a parent child relationship legally with someone else's child. When you adopt, you are taking all responsibility for the child, which include emotional and financial. Raising a child is an overall amazing experience that any person should be able to enjoy. Adoption makes it possible for every individual who desires to be a parent. Adoption is something to be talked about and a good news to spread. Being an adoption advocate is incredibly important as it spreads awareness. When we start talking about adoption, we learn that there are people who are casually interested in the idea of being an adoptive parent. With this advocacy, we might help motivate someone to finally take the next step. Every child deserves the excitement of being welcomed into a family. Even if you can only support with encouragement and prayers, it will mean the world. Adoption is a wonderful option and a beautiful experience you could give to a child and to a couple aiming and thirst of having a child to complete a home. I believe that every child deserves love, care, support, and a home with a parent to complete his and her being in order to be a successful man and woman in the future. Even if you have not adopted, we can be an adoption advocate through our support. Let us support our community and those around us who are doing the most important work in creating forever families. Aside from the positive view in adoption, there are also major problems, corruption, and even unethical practices in adoption. And this is a truth we must all recognize and fight against. So many hopeful families want a child quickly and without high expenses. Adoption shapes families forever, and we must do our part to limit the unethical practices that harm innocent children involved. Did you know that under Roman law, the adopted child has a right to the name and the property of the person by whom he had been adopted? Through adoption, a beautiful relationship of a parent and a child is instantly born. Here in the Philippines, the full legal adoption process can take 2 to 3 years. Adoption takes a social legal process which requires court proceedings. This has been a long process, and how I wish Congress could actively push legislation that will shorten the adoption process. Although adoption takes a long process, what is important is the value of life, which adoption gives to both a child and a future parents. Adoption can make a big difference when an orphan brought into a family. The child is healing from different kind of traumas, a hopeless child slowly becoming a hopeful one. It is not only one way that the child could benefit from being adopted, because a child also gives you happiness. They are a gift from God, an angel sent from above, and the hope of our nation.
Back in my arms tonight, I'll tell you